Sometimes you don't even know yourself, do you? It's really hard to like name what's actually going on. Like you said, you know, you did it with the aid of like therapy and trying different things, but like to actually know what's going on with you, I mean, that's hard, right? That takes a while. I still don't always know.
Exactly.
I feel a bit weird.
My therapist kind of led up to it, because my first question when after I went in the intake room, you don't need to be in here. You go see this lady, and the lady, she gives you the health, physical thing. And then my therapy was good because they gave me 9 assignments that you're supposed to complete these 9 assignments by the time you get discharged. And you got a whole month to do it. And the 9 assignments go with your classes. You get these 9 classes, and it's all about dopamine. It's all about alcohol. It's all about how your brain works. It's all about the physical, spiritual, and mental. They even gave us a class on LSD. The famous guy in the 60s who discovered LSD, the doctor guy. And one of the things the doctor guy said was, when we getting high, it's the human conscious search for God. Once I got it, I realized I said, I'm gonna answer all these questions honestly. So now, when I finished that, prior to me finishing it, one of the first questions that my therapist asked me when my first therapy session was, during your career with Run D.M.C, did Russell, Run, Jay, or anybody do anything to make you angry? And I was saying, nah. So my therapist, he was like, he took his glasses off and he looked me in the eye and said, you're a goddamn motherfucking liar. And when he said that to me, yeah, man, in 1985 when Run did this and then Jay did that. And it all just started pouring out of me. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, this happened. I remember being in the room and hearing some executives say they had told this guy, yo, we're gonna give you the money, we're gonna do the deal, and now fuck that, we ain't gonna do the deal. And the other person was like, it's gonna break his heart. And the guy was, I don't give a fuck, who cares about this guy? And this and that. And he was doing that, conducting that business in one of my sessions, and that hurt me. Like it disturbed my whole session. But instead of adjusting it, confronting the guy and speaking on that, I just went over there and stood in the corner and drunk. So I'm thinking about how fucked up that is. And he said, yo, all you had to do was walk over to that guy and say, yo, look, this is how it's going to go now. I don't care what you do in your private time, but don't be doing that shit around me. You know what I'm saying? You do that, you go out in the hallway, you go do that shit in the office, but don't do that around me because it doesn't make me feel good. So I realized I was doing things that didn't make me feel good to please others. And the thing that I thought that would help me feel good was the substance. There's always a reason why somebody's getting high. You know what I'm saying? There's always a reason. Now, it's different from people that can actually have 3 drinks of wine and they good. Or somebody can have 2 shots of bourbon and be good.
Who are those people?
Oh,
I don't relate.
Well, I know one guy.
I do know some actually, but I don't relate.
Well, I met one recently. Sammy Hagar from Van Halen.
Yeah.
He has a tequila company.
Yeah.
He just turned 70, and he still rocks and rolls like he's 25. Has a lovely wife, lovely son. He tours all the time. Lives the rock style lifestyle. But he said this to me. He said, I know that after the 3rd drink, I don't need no more because it's not going to do nothing for me. And he said, I watch all my friends and my peers die, medical problems, kidney problems, this and that. He said, I watch all of them go through that. He said, I'm fucking happy being Sammy Hagar. He has a tequila. I can't have a tequila company.
We're not safe in that same way, right?
Exactly. So
our bodies are wired a little bit different than our minds.
Oh, for sure. No. Yeah. And another thing that I did in rehab, they give you yoga, they give you rock climbing, and they test me because I like to work out. So workout I have an addictive personality. So and when I was in rehab, they told me, because I like to do my cardio first and then I lift my weights. I got to do both in the same day, else I'll go crazy. I thought I'd go crazy. They said, okay, do you only get 1 hour to work out? You could either do cardio or you could either do weights. You know how that killed me? I'm in rehab like Like I found myself sitting there going, yo, this is great, this and that. What's the matter? Oh, Nicole, I need my 2 hours. And the lady was like, well, here's what you do. Monday, do cardio. Tuesday, do that. Oh, I didn't think of that. And
Like learning moderation.
Yeah, exactly. But what I was going to say, when the rock climbing wall was coming, I climbed up the hard side. And the lady asked me, why did you take the hard side? Because I wanted to leave the easy side open for the other people. She said, why would you do that? I said, all you had to do was just climb the wall to the top. Why would you do the hard time? So I started noticing that what I was doing was habit. And then I had to see why I was doing certain things, because I'm worried about all of these people first. Let me climb the wall, accomplish one, and then get out the way. Why am I worried about what that person is doing? So I started worrying. I started realizing that my substance abuse was to hide my true feelings. And my therapist said, D, from now on, for you not to ever go down that dark catechism of depression again. What? How do I do that? From now on, just express your truth. Speak up when you feel like speaking up. He said, yeah, who cares how the person takes it? And then he said this, but you got to be open for them to give you their honesty back. So I've been doing that. And this is a true story. It's funny, too. He says, I say, from now on, always speak my truth no matter what. And he says, yes, and I've been doing that, but this is true. So I said, even when my wife looks at me and says, honey, does this make me look fat? And it does. He says, no, not that one. No, he truly said that. He said, no, not that one. And I looked at him and said, you should. He said, no, not that one. But everything else. So ever since I got out of rehab, if I have opinion, if I like, yo, D, man, you should come do this. You're going to make some money. Nope. I don't feel like doing that. But before I would go do it, I would go drink and say, let me just go, say somebody's going to give you $10,000 to do a walkthrough at a club. Or somebody's going to give you $10,000 to go do this TV show or something like that. If it's not appealing to me, that's why I don't do reality TV. Like, nothing against it. But I'm like, I'd rather be the only guy that's not doing reality shows because that makes me feel good. Oh, but they'll give you $10 million. Nope. So I've realized it's about being selfish for me. Even if that means, oh man, before I would get to $10,000, because I know I got to pay the DJ, I got to pay my manager, and I got to pay the booking agency, and so I'm worried about them getting their money. But I'm like, they'll find somebody else to go do it. It's simple little things that you have to do to protect yourself.
One of the first things I was told and that I'm promised really when I got first cleaned up was the truth will set you free. And I'd spent my life running away from the truth. It scared me, terrified me to really honestly look at who I was and where I'd been. I thought that was the most terrifying thing in the world, but it absolutely was the thing that set me free. And the truth to kind of go and be able to admit when you're wrong like that.
Right, yeah,
really hard, but it's the best thing.
The funny joke is I tell people this, the therapist doesn't help you. So I go, why do you go? The therapist does two things. It's a decoy. You just said it. Therapy does two things. It allows you to say stuff to yourself that you never said before. Because the therapist is just therapist is actually you sitting there listening to you because you was too scared to listen to yourself telling you the truth. So you start saying things that you never said before, that you was hiding. You subconsciously, they were locked away, but also it makes you say things to yourself that you said but you didn't listen to. Now I'm able to look back and remember how I felt some certain days. I remember the day that when Run D.M.C. was functioning well as a unit, it was Joe being Joe, Darryl being Darryl, and Jay being Jay. And everything that we touched worked. But the minute Run D.M.C. got caught up into being Run D.M.C., we need a new hit record. We need to get on the radio. We need another Walk This Way. We need another It's Tricky. So the minute, I remember feeling uncomfortable when I came into the session after the Raising Hell album, and they go, D, let me see your lyrics. That was never an issue. Put the beat on, let me do what Darryl does. Let Joe do what Jay does. Jay do what, and let Run do what Jay does. Put it out. Hit record, everybody's happy, this and that. Now we achieved all the success. Now we're trying to achieve the success. All of a sudden, these two guys think they know what I should be doing. That hurt me, but I didn't speak up. So what did I do? Here, look at my lyric. D, change this to change that to fit in and be like Jay-Z and be like Jermaine Dupri and be like Eminem and stuff like that. Didn't feel good about it, but I did it. So now we did it the way they wanted it done, and I feel like shit. So now what I'm gonna go do?
He's having a drink.
Hey, forget about it. But now the hangover wears off. I wake up 5 in the morning. I feel like it's worse now because the thing didn't go away. So what I do, I go drink again. I was drinking 24/7. And I noticed a lot about me because my therapist said, D, how the hell was you doing that? I was drinking from 11 a.m. in the morning to 6 a.m. in the morning, going to sleep for an hour and still getting up and going to the gym for 2 hours. And they was like, what the hell you do? And then the funny joke is I'm in the gym on the elliptical and I'm noticing why nobody's working out on my side of the room. Because the alcohol is coming out your pores. My wife used to tell me, you smell like a fucking brewery. How much you drink? You lie, I only had 2. When you had 100, it's coming out of your pores now. So now I look back and see, I know at every instance what I was, when I smoked my first joint, I'm doing it to impress Dexter. Dexter, I was 12 years old. Dexter was the 15-year-old kid on the block that had everything. So he would tell the young kids, come to my house, let me show you this. He had all the race cars, and he was the guy that come in the room. Turn out the black lights, you remember the black lights, the purple lights that make the posters light up? He brought us in the room and he said, I got a joint. And here. So you take it and you smoke it. And it was like, but my truth, I don't like this. It smells funny, but I'm doing it to please Dexter. So now I'm able to look back and see what I was doing. And all of those times that I was lying to myself. And that's another hurtful thing. A lot of times you abuse your particular substance to hide your truth or your true feeling. Not only you're lying to yourself, you're lying to everybody around you.
Being honest with yourself is probably the hardest thing, isn't it? Like, I don't know, yeah. I guess as you go on, what honesty means something deeper, maybe.
Right. What's worse if your world ends because you're honest and you're still feeling good at the end? Everything crashes, but you're feeling good. Or you making everything crash and it's crashing and you still feel like shit. I think that's the suicide thing. No matter what I do, I can't get this feeling out of my head. And a lot of times, I say this in the book too, a lot of the times, every catalyst, even if it's a chemical brain, the depression thing, like there's the depressions that we bring on mentally and emotionally. But then, scientifically they say there's that depression that's a chemical thing, but there's something to cause the chemical to start removing. Not 99.9 times out of 100, there's someone or something sparking it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we're afraid to acknowledge what that thing is. So an abusive behavior becomes the thing to hide that. I mean, like a substance abusive behavior. Even with anorexia and stuff like that, there's something that clicks in the mind. I was just talking to the girl in the gym, and she said bodybuilding is not normal. She said, but I said, really? She said she found her, she said she did it one time. She competed. I said, yo, that's crazy. You dieting and this and that. And she said she caught herself after her first contest. She competed. Now she's off to cycle, but she caught herself in front of her family. She's Italian, at the dinner, going, I'm getting too fat. This happened at the table, and they're looking at her like, and then she said she noticed, so she said she couldn't. She said it becomes obsession because you don't never think you're cut enough or too built enough or too big enough. She said it's an addiction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's always sparks it.
It's sort of, as you're chasing that thing, that you're that perfect moment where everything's going to be all right. Like whether it's in drink, it's like that moment where everything's going to feel kind
Perfect.
of all right. And then if it's with food or starving yourself, it's that moment when you're just going to feel all right about your body, and you're just chasing,
Right.
and it becomes an illusion. And the harder you chase, the further away it gets,
It's
right?
not the body. It's not the body. It's not the money. It's not the fake feel good thing. You gotta let go of everything to find the one thing that's gonna make you feel good. But that being said, it's not easy. So I want to encourage people, just don't give up. I said this, somebody said this to me. Somebody said, D, it was easy for you because you got money. You can go get help. What about the person that don't have the resources? Oh, even in your deepest, darkest moment of despair, there's always somebody that you can think of that brings a smile to your face. Here's how lives could be saved. The person who could be the receiver and the person who is going through something, say, I just need to talk to you. The person being a receiver, I tell people, you might have to be there for that person for every day for the rest of their lives. So that this person's coming to you every day with the problem, and you getting tired of hearing the problem, but all you gotta do is just be there, to not even give solution, just listen. Before you look up, y'all both will be 89, 100 years old, and that person lived a life each day. When we don't have an outlet to release what's in us, that's when we give up. We think nobody understands. For me, my saving grace, my acknowledgement of it's going to be all right no matter what, was the Sarah McLachlan record. No voice, depressed, and little thing like this. I live in Jersey, so instead of flying me into Jersey's airport, they flew me into JFK in Queens, which means it's going to take 3 hours to get home. So I'm really pissed off. I get in the car with the driver that's picking me up, and he looks back and sees this D.M.C. So he was like, how you doing, Mr. McDaniels? Going to Jersey, right? Yes, cool. So we leave in JFK. First stoplight. He's looking in the mirror. I look up, he turned his head. Leaving JFK, getting ready to get on the highway. Second stoplight. He looks up. I look in the rearview mirror. He turns his head. So I said, okay, at the final stoplight, I'm going to say something to him. So we stop at the stoplight. He looks. I look, yo, what's up, this and that? So he turns around. He just looked at me. He says this, yo, D.M.C, man, please don't tell my boss I might get fired, but your music got me through some of the roughest times in my life. I had a fucked up childhood. I had really, really bad growing up, but your music made everything perfect and made me feel good. Can I get a picture with you? Joe, that's easy. Not only that, I'll give you an autograph too. Really? So now he's happy, yes. So he goes, yo, can I turn the radio on? Yeah. He turns it to the rap station, Hot 97 in New York City. At that time in my life, I'm a depressed, alcoholic, suicidal wreck who has no voice. You think I want to hear hip-hop? Because I can't even do it no more. Yo, please turn it to any station except that one. He turns it to Light FM. As soon as he turned it, in the arms of an angel, fly away, with the piano and Sarah's voice, and in the dark, cold hotel rooms, when she said that, the sound of that record, the tone of that record, the denseness of it, even though it's a eerie, it was the best thing that I ever heard in my life. So for one whole year, every day I woke up Instead of jumping off the roof, I listened to Sarah McLachlan all day. At the end of that year, I go to Clive Davis Grammy party in LA, the party everybody want to go to. Who walks in? Sarah McLachlan. I get my courage. I walk over to her and say, Miss McLachlan, the name of the record is Angel. You sound like an angel. People say you're an angel, but you're not an angel to me. You're God. Every day of my life, I've been listening to this record 24 hours, 7 days a week. People see me in the gym, and I'm in the gym with my headphones on. They probably think I'm listening to house music. I got in the arms of an angel. So she looks at me. She says, thank you for telling me that, Darryl. That's what music is supposed to do. Shakes my hand, walks away. 3 years go by. I find out that I'm adopted. Then I go, I'm going to make a record that's going to help me the same way that lady, I'm going to have that lady make the record with me. So I tell my manager, get Sarah on the phone. I want to make a record. I'm going to take Harry Chapin's Cats in a Cradle, which was a song about a father who had no time for the kid, but I'm going to put my story there. And I want Sarah McLachlan to sing the Harry Chapin parts. Sarah McLachlan gets on the phone. I go, hey, Miss McLachlan, how you doing? Hey, Darryl, what's going on? I said, remember when I met you 3 years ago? She was funny, yeah, and you called me God. I said, well, if you thought I was crazy then, you're really going to think I'm crazy now. Remember when I met you and I told you what your record did for me? Yeah, well, I just found out that I'm adopted, and I want to make a record that's going to speak to kids, orphans, and foster kids and adopted kids who feel, this word feel is very important, just like me. Will you do this record with me? Yes. All right, I'm going to bring you to New York. No, you can come to my house and make the record. So after 3 years of listening to her, I'm a fan now. So long story short, I go to Sarah McLachlan's house. It takes us 2 days to make the record. Now remember, I got in the car feeling the way I was feeling, heard her song on the radio. And when I heard that song, that was the only thing that rivaled the good feeling of alcohol, but it made me feel good. I go to the party, I get to meet her. 3 years go by, I find out that I'm adopted. When we finished making the record, she says, Darryl, before you go, there's something I need to tell you. And I go, what? She goes, I was adopted too, and I did not know that.
Oh, I just got like
No, everybody had
goosebumps.
the chills at the studio when she said that. It was the feeling. And the deeper thing is, there's a line in there, in the dark, cold hotel room, in the endlessness you meet. So I was staying in the rooms on tour. I'm the only one going this way. I don't want to live no more. The worst thing we can do when we're going through something is isolate ourselves. Isolation is murder. Because now you're alone, you think the world don't care. Ronnie J and my manager and Russell and nobody in the business feels like this. So I'm all alone, let me kill myself. So that's the worst thing. But here's the ticker. Do you know 2 weeks ago, I did an interview about the Sarah McLachlan record that saved my life. I didn't know the record was about suicide. The record was written about the Counting Crows member not Counting Crows, Billy Corgan's group. What's that group?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes, the Pumpkins. Sarah McLachlan wrote that record about a band member who committed suicide. That's why I identified with the feeling in the record. I could identify with that.
And you said it was like the lifeboat that kept you afloat. It didn't take the storm away, but it helped you weather the storm.
It was the only thing I felt relatable to.
That's the power of music. It's amazing.
So I didn't feel alone anymore. But how crazy is that? Yeah. So people need to find what as long as I had that record, I don't want to kill myself. And then I realized I really don't want to kill myself. So let me go find help. And then I'll go to find help, and then I discover, here's why I'm thinking these things.
But you found those connections by reaching out, being honest, taking risks, and I guess that's where if you keep yourself alone in a room, you're always going to feel that isolation. It's just going to grow and grow and grow, isn't it? And it's not until you take those steps to move out and take risks and meet people and talk to people and talk about the things that you're really passionate about that you find those connections and you really feel them.
But that's a whole lot, and that's even scarier. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we think we need the alcohol just to do that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just think, when you're not drunk or whatever, you're quiet. Yeah. So now people, listen, to anybody out there listening, everybody's weird.
I'm not. No, I'm joking. I'm totally
what
weird.
I mean by that was, if you're sitting there being you, you're considered weird.
Yeah.
So now you're going to start doing something so they don't consider you weird, which makes you weird.
Celebrate your weirdness.
Yes, celebrate. Exactly. It's like I tell all the geeks and nerds, man, the geeks and nerds is cool, man. Everybody's perfect just the way that they are.
If you're not weird, you're not real.
Exactly. And it's cool to be weird because I realize that it's the normal, the so-called normal world who has all the problems, but they're just afraid to admit it. Like I discovered, I'm an alcoholic, I'm depressed, I'm suicidal. Yo, me too. I'm working with Tim Armstrong and Rancid. So we start work, he's producing me. So we do one studio session. Everything's going fine. We do the second studio session. Everything's going fine. My book comes out. I walk in the studio, he's standing there like this. I'm like, yo, what's the matter? Yo, you got this book out, man. I said, yeah. I didn't know that about you. Yeah, man, I'm alcoholic, depressed, this and that. You talk so openly about it. And they're like, yeah, what's the problem with it? I've never told anybody this, but me too. I've been sober for, like, we sitting there thinking it's the music, but he's thinking, I'm not going to tell D.M.C. this because he might, whatever, he might look down at me. I don't know. But then I found out we had that in common. Yeah. So now it's even, the sessions are even more open because besides music, we realize that we got normal, everyday human, normal, it's normal that we had the problem. Yeah. My other friend, Rob Dukes, who was the third lead singer of Exodus, we working on some music. Cool. Working on some music. Cool. Come into the next session. Well, Rob, what's the matter? I picked up your book and I read it and I couldn't put it down. I got to tell you something. He said, when I was in high school, I graduated from high school, and high school was rough for me being a little kid or whatever like this. So I made it out of high school. I made it to graduate. And one of my teachers looks at me and says, jokingly, you know what you need to do, Rob? You need to get on a motorcycle. You need to ride cross country to L.A. So he said he was high. He rides across country to L.A., but not on a touring bike, on a dirt bike. So he rides across the country to L.A. He gets to L.A. No money, no nothing. He gets a job working the stage at the Viper Room, the legendary Viper Room.
Mm-hmm. That's the one where Johnny Depp, not Johnny Depp, River Phoenix died. Yeah.
Of OD. So he gets in there. He's already a kid, getting high, no hope, whatever. He gets a job working the stage at them, and all the drugs and substances is at his feet. So doing the whole drug scene, meets all the bands, meets every band. Starts doing stage stuff for all the metal bands and stuff. That's how he looked up with Exodus. When Exodus' second lead singer left, Rob was always the stage guy. He would say, "Yo, Rob, you know all the songs, you want to sing them?" Sure, dude. But before that happened, he was in LA, taking every drug everywhere, completely depressed. He says he goes down to, not Venice Beach, Redondo Beach somewhere, and it's nighttime. He's sitting on the beach, and he says, I'm going to kill myself. I'm uncomfortable. I can't live like this no more. There's no hope for me. So I'm going to kill myself. So he said he gets in the water. His thing was, I'm going to swim until I can't swim no more. So he gets in the water and he starts swimming. Swimming. So he's way, you can just barely see the lights from shore. And he's out there swimming in the middle of the ocean in California. And then he says he just started laughing because he says, yo, I'm a really good fucking swimmer. Like, out of all of that, he says that to himself. And he says, so he stops and he turns around and he looks back. And it's true story. He said, all right, there's the shore. He said, I'm going to swim back. He said, if I make it back to shore, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to go directly to rehab. Back to shore, directly to rehab. Been sober 20 years.
Amazing.
And he sat in rehab. He discovered all the stuff that he was doing, trying to fit in the rock and roll lifestyle, this and that, the money, the opportunity, you know, doing things, having all these expectations, a lot of dreams, this and that. He didn't achieve them. He just thought that was part of it. Soon as he gets sober, the opportunity to be the lead singer of Exodus pops right in his face.
Once you stop chasing it.
It's there for you.
Yeah. It's been so amazing speaking to you today. It's been like an absolute honour. I could talk to you all afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. And is there anything you want to leave leave our audience with?
Well, the coolest thing is this. We are not the only ones, and y'all are not the only ones. Like,
there's bloody loads of us. They're everywhere.
That's the cool thing. You did just
weirdos, addicts, alcoholics.
Exactly. No, but you think you're alone. There's so many. And the beautiful thing is, don't be ashamed. If you remove the guilt and shame, you remove the pain. Do not be ashamed to say what you are, or do not be ashamed to mention somebody that you know going through something, because you can save somebody's life. And your purpose is locked up in your struggle. I know this sounds cliche, but your purpose is locked up in your struggle. And unless you struggle through the struggle, you'll never get to realize that. Some of us give up. And look, for even people that don't give up, it's that saying where the people, whatever it is that you want to be, doctor, lawyer, entertainer, dancer, whatever, it's two things that happen. Sometimes when you give up, that very next day is when the person was going to come give you the deal. And then if you've been doing it for a long time, there's nothing wrong with failing, because when you fail, you still receive something that's more important than being successful, which is experience and a lesson, which becomes something that you can utilize when you realize, let me take all of this goodness about me that's not working here and apply it somewhere else.
Thank you so much.